out of my way.
You're always so angry.
Caledonia, get back here.
Hello there. It says I'm live. I can see myself on that screen. I can see myself on that screen. I can see myself on that screen. Can anybody see me and hear me? Oh, wait again, do we see? Can people hear me and see me? I don't know. You have to say in the chat whether you can hear me. Okay. Thanks very much. But can you hear me? I'm hoping you can. You can hear me. Good. Okay. Whew. Okay, so Blaze the channel was in early, very early. You're not seeing my driving licence. So here we go. Stevie, good evening to you. Gerard, hello, how you doing? Adventures of a Leeds bus driver. That's a new name to me. Hi mate, how you doing? Peter Mulder, how you doing? Peter Barry, you're in. Zigzag, nice to see you again. Land of Saints FPV, hello from Cornwall, hello from Scotland. Cornwall's a beautiful place. I'd like to see some of that Cornwall footage with your FPV. I'm sure you've got some up on the channel. Mark, how you doing? Mr. Mains, we can hear you. Good, I'm glad about that. Lynn, good confirmation. The only one I trust is you when you tell me you can hear me. I understand that. Have you walked in the sun today? Aye, right, okay. You know something? Gary, JP, hello, how you doing? Yorkshire man, how you doing? I, excuse me, I have been walking in the sun today, Peter. I've been out for a wee while. You might hear my voice is no too great. I've had this cold for 4 days now, and it's, oh man, it's really bad. Chest, throat, head, nose, everything. So I'm stuffed up with medication at the moment. And if you see me running off, it's because I'm feeling nauseous and I'm away to barf in the toilet. I'll try my best to stay here for an hour if I can. Don't know if I'm going to manage it or not, but I'll do. And I haven't got any agenda tonight either because I just wasn't feeling up to creating any agenda. But I was out creating a video earlier on, and I don't know if any of you have watched the video that I created earlier on or not. I'm going to play just a tiny little bit of it here and then stop it because I want to know if you can hear the sound or not. So I'll play this tiny little bit and let me know if you can hear the sound on this. Right, it was just a few bars of music there. You could hear it. Fantastic. Who says I need a few Jamesons? Gerard. Slanja. It just bungs the nose up even more. You know what I mean? You like the shirt? That's what I do. I drink and I know things. I know quite a few things as well. Right, Rob, hello, how you doing for all the way over in Canada? And, right. Okay, so, Jason, how you doing? Ronald, hello. For those of you who haven't yet seen the video that I posted earlier, I was out doing a review. A company sent me through a really nice product, very, very nice product. I won't tell you what it is just yet, and asked me if I would do a review on it and I could keep the product. I didn't. They're not paying me. I don't really like to take money because if I take money, that means that, you know, it colours my opinion. I'm not allowed to say certain things, so I don't generally take money from companies, but I always get to keep the product. So it was a really nice product, and I was out filming a wee review, and on the way home, I had Lassie in Caledonia out to try this little wee thing, this wee test that I'm working on for next week. And on the way, I wasn't feeling too good, so on the way home, I just dumped Caledonia on the passenger seat of the car and drove home. And I heard a couple of beeps and bloops, and I looked down and the telemetry was actually reading as if she was flying. I thought, hello, this will make an interesting video. So I just carried on, and for the next few minutes I made a little video. So if you haven't seen it, it's on my channel. I'm going to play just the last about a minute and a half of it, where I do a little kind of, it's not an explanation, it's more of a teaser for tonight, but I'm going to play that just now, so let me put it on. And pay attention to the distance and the signal. It looks as if the Mini 3 is flying in a kind of FPV fashion, and maybe even faster than she's possibly supposed to be able to go. And if you look at the signal strength, it's 3 kilometres away. It's full. Have I discovered a hack for the signal strength in the Mini 3? Have I discovered a way to tweak the signal strength so that you get a full signal at 3 kilometres away? Why don't you join my live stream on Sunday at 7 o'clock and we'll talk about it. Well, no, of course, I haven't discovered the tweak. I haven't discovered a hack. A few of you have already guessed it, and it was quite simple. Hi Dave, watch for Suffolk, first time watching live, welcome here. I haven't discovered a hack. It's quite simple. Because I sat Caledonia down and I heard a couple of bleeps and bloops, and I realised that the telemetry was reading as if she was flying, height, distance, signal strength. So what I did is I put her onto the dashboard of the car and I raised the gimbal just a little bit so that it looked as if she was, well, looking up a little bit. And I just drove along for 3 kilometres. And it occurred to me while I was doing it, I thought, well, look at this. Once again, for the the Veloz trolls, that said I was over 3 kilometres away, but the drone was less than 7 inches in front of me. So I just thought it was quite an interesting wee thing. I was quite amazed that the telemetry started to read, and I'm going to have to look back in the video because I haven't paid it much attention today. I've been a wee bit zonked out here and there. The speed was in metres per second, not miles per hour, so I'll have to do a conversion. And I don't know what speed it got up to. I think it's got a cap. At one point I was driving at 55 miles per hour, but I don't think the telemetry would equate to that. I think there is a cap on how much it can read. I'll have to check that and confirm it. And I might do a proper test. That was just an impromptu one where I just thought, oh, hello, let's just do a wee test while we're here. I might actually go out and properly test it and maybe even gaffer tape it to the outside of the car or something like that, just to see what happens. Right, Mark, you thought that's what happened. Aye, most people guessed it. My subscribers to this channel are a clever bunch, right? You're not a bunch of idiots. You're all switched on. So I knew most of you would get it, but I thought I would give a little tease for tonight's live stream anyway. So JJ, good evening to you. How you doing? Graham Fackman. That's the first I've seen you in here, I think, Graham. So hi for Great Yarmouth. There's. Oh, you're wanting that drone? Is that the drone police in their drone cars? Right. Excuse me. Oh, and while I was doing that, it occurred to me that there was a subscriber actually mentioned something like that a few days ago, and it was up here. Look at this. It was a subscriber called Derek Pask. Derek, I don't know if you're in the chat or not. I know you don't. I don't think you watch the live streams anyway. But Derek actually said this. So I couldn't quite make out what he meant by the first sentence. I think he was maybe on the whiskey when he wrote that one, but he was basically saying that, and I think he was tongue in cheek when he was saying that he put his drone on what did he say, double-sided sticky tape, and stuck them into the dash in his Jag in 130 miles per hour. Smart arse, he says. So I don't think he did that, but I think he was just having a bit of banter with me. But it actually did give me an idea, and I thought, I'm going to have to do that. And I wasn't thinking about it today. I was just feeling a bit crap and wanting to go home. So I didn't even put Caledonia in her bag or fold her down. I just kind of threw her on the passenger seat, and that's when I realised this was happening. I thought, that's right, Derek had said a few days ago. So that's how that came about anyway. Okay. Aye, a very expensive dash cam. It is. I wouldn't be using it as dash cam. Here's the other thing as well. I only had it on for about 5, maybe 6 minutes at the most, and I drove just over 3 kilometres. And it was at that point that I got a message popped up that said, the drone has been standing still for too long, auto powering down. And I felt it, and it was very, very hot, really hot. So it was auto shutting down And other people have said that if they have the drone sitting for too long switched on, it'll power down because it overheats. So it actually did. So I got 3 kilometres and then it overheat and powered down. So that was just a wee thing that I had no intention of doing today. It just sort of snuck up upon me. Right, Jason says, if you get a lot of complaints to the police and say about allegedly flying beyond velos, what actually happens with regards to the complaint, constant investigations? Well, I can tell you from my perspective what happens, Jason, is excuse me, is regarding the reports and the complaints that I've had. What has happened so far is absolutely nothing. The CAA have emailed me a few times, and that's it. They're not taking any action. I think they realise that, and today was more proof of that if the only evidence that they have at their hands about you allegedly flying beyond visual line of sight is the telemetry on a video. Now, I showed today that's not evidence, and I showed in my previous video that that's not evidence because I manipulated the telemetry so that it would it would look as if the drone was 3 kilometres away. So they can't do anything. I think the only time that they could possibly do something is if they had someone witnessing you, not even videoing it, someone witness, at least 2 people, maybe even more, witnessing you doing it. And I don't know how they could then prove that in a court that you couldn't see the drone, because who's to say what you can see and can't see? So I think the CAA, this is just my opinion, okay? I think that the CAA have regulations like you can't fly beyond visual line of sight in place to stop the idiots, just to give them a wee kind of, whoa, just to make them think twice about doing it. That's all it is. I don't think they're particularly concerned with people flying beyond visual line of sight in areas that I fly in. They might be, but I can't see any logical reason why they would be. There's nothing at risk, no one's in any danger. Anyway, I don't want to say any more. Well, I do actually. I do want to say one more thing about velos. Can everyone still hear me? I feel my voice is getting quieter and quieter. Can just type into the chat if if my voice is still coming through nice and clear. Can someone please? Oh, have I become disconnected? Nobody's chat. Fine. Okay. Right. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Paul. Oh, he's right. You can stop telling me, everybody. The chat's scrolling past so fast. Right, okay, thanks. Right, that's good. My voice, I mean, it's not even 1:15 yet, and my voice is starting to go, so I might have to end this a wee bit early. We'll see how it goes. Before I get to a few of your questions about velos, I can see that a few of you have got questions there. I'll get to them in a second. I just wanted to say, now what was I going to say there? Yes, I was having a chat with a few of you. I think it was in the community page or somewhere. I can't remember. A few days ago, there was one of the subscribers, and I'm not going to mention any names or anything yet because we don't know what the situation is. But one of the subscribers had messaged me. I think it was email. They actually emailed me saying that they had found a section within the CAA website that said that, now I'm not quoting exactly what he says it says, but it was to the effect that if you were flying beyond visual line of sight, you must have another means of obstacle detection. Now, the Mini 3 has that. It has obstacle detection, not just obstacle avoidance, obstacle detection, because on the screen you get an audible warning first of all, and you get little red kind of curves and lines wherever the obstacle is. So if you are flying a Mini 3 and there's something coming in, you will get an audio warning and a visual warning. So that could be a loophole. that could be a loophole to say that. It's on the CAA's website. If you're flying beyond visual line of sight, you must have another means, and that is another means. Now, I tried to find it. I searched through, I spent days searching through the CAA website and all the regulations and everything to try and find this, and I couldn't do it. So I went back to the subscriber and said, look, I can't find this anywhere. Could you have a look and send me the link to exactly where it is to have a better look at it? But so far I've had nothing back yet. So as regards visual line of sight, there's a possibility there. I don't know whether it is going to pan out to be or not, but anyway, so that's all I really want to say in visual line of sight. I've already made a video the other day. I made a video today about it, and that's it. But what I will do is I'll answer some of your questions that are here about visual line of sight. But after this live stream, I don't think I want to visit it anymore, because kind of hammering it to death, aren't we? Right, Gerard. You said something that's been held, but I'm gonna just show it anyway. It doesn't matter to me. It was that there. Fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Right. Al, how you doing? Nice to see you here. Right. Paul says, absolutely loved the VLOS video. Great sense of humour, highlighting a genuine issue drone pilots have. Great job, Bob. Thanks, Paul. If we can all keep a sense of humour about things and not to try not to take everything too seriously, it's not a massive issue. If the CA ever do come out and personally meet me and say, don't ever fly there again, I was tell them fair enough, but and I'm not admitting to flying beyond visual line of sight. I do what I do. I don't put anyone in danger, and I try to be the best person I can be. But that's it. Right, Jason says, isn't there a legal limit of 500 metres in the UK? No, there isn't actually, Jason. It's a misapprehension there. What the CAA have said is that you cannot fly beyond visual line of sight. Right now, that may be they reckon, unofficially, they reckon that 500 metres is the furthest any human being could see a Mini 2 or a Mini 3 size drone, right? That's their opinion. So that's where this 500 metres thing came from. It's not official. Officially, you cannot fly beyond visual line of sight. Now, that might be 100 metres for some people. It might be 200 metres. I don't know. If you get Superman eyes, it might be 1,000 metres. I don't know. I know how far I can see the drone, and you probably know how far you can see your drone. Okay, so that's that. Alrighty, let's see. Yorkshire Man says, hi Robert, did you sort the problem with the batteries? I think it was the charger only charging one fully charged and the other two lower percentage when you put them on drone. Yeah, Yorkshire Man, I haven't revisited that yet. The only time that for me is even the slightest concern is if I was going to be doing a test to get an accurate test of how long a battery would fly for to the second. Other than that, I don't care. If it only charges to 95% or 92 or 96 or whatever, I'm not bothered. I've got 3 batteries, and if they all charge to 95%, I'm going to get more flight time than I need to do what I need to do. So, I haven't revisited that one. What some people have, here's another reason why I haven't revisited it, is because a lot of people have said that much more knowledgeable people than I am, because I'm just a normal guy. I'm just an idiot. I don't know anything. I only know things that I discover myself. But some of the more knowledgeable people have said that these intelligent batteries take quite a few cycles before they will allow you to charge them up to full capacity. I don't know whether that's right or not, but it sounds fair enough to me. If they say that's it. So I probably will look at it again, but maybe in a couple of months' time when I've had the 3 batteries, because I've got it takes a while to cycle through 3 batteries, especially if you're not out every single day, and I'm not. But maybe in a month's time or so, once I know that the 3 batteries have been through quite a few cycles, I'll then charge them and look at them again just to see what the charge is, and I'll report back to you. So, Yorkshire man, hope that answered your question. If it didn't, I apologise, but that's all you're getting. Right, Kevin, clear as day. I think that's how you can hear me. It's getting hoarser and hoarser. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it. Tour of 67, fine. Dobby throwing, clear and fine, okay. Blaze, the channel, says telemetry is the distance from the home point, not the distance from the pilot. The pilot can be mobile and move around. Some people don't get it. Blaze, the channel, you're absolutely right. I've shown this on numerous videos where I have taken off and walked with the drone, and the distance says that it's much further away than you would think, but it's not. It's far away from the home point, but not from the controller. And then all you do is you update the home point, and it will settle back. It'll give you a new home point at your controller. Yeah, I've done this. Some people don't get it, and they're going to troll, and they're going to hate, and they're going to threaten to come and do me in. I don't care. Right, anyway. So let's, oh geez, there's a million chats went past there. Right, okay, so let's see. Cyril Walker. Cyril, good evening, hope you're well. Cyril, I'm not that well, to be honest. Thanks for your kind wishes. I'm not. I've got a heavy cold. This is about my 4th day with it, and I don't get colds very often. It's about 4 years since I've had a cold. Normally I'm over them in a couple of days, but this one's dragging on and on and on. Quite a few of my work colleagues have got it as well, and it hit them hard too. So I think there's maybe a wee strain of this cold going about that's a bit harder than usual. And it's the headache. It wouldn't go away. No matter how many pills I take, the headache wouldn't go away. Anyway, so Cyril, thanks very much for your kind wishes. No, I'm not that well, but I'm okay. Right. So Paul says lots of videos knocking about referring to the new firmware update for the Mini 3, but neglecting the benefits or problems with the Mini 2. Have you any thoughts? Paul, I know that Nobby Green puts up updates to the Mini 3 all the time, and I think Gavin HR puts up updates regularly to the Mini 2 and the Mini 3, I think, and that's great, and it's I watch them, and they're very useful, very informative. It's no my cup of tea. It's no for me. It's no my bag. I don't really do that. I'm kind of I would bore myself talking about updates, and it does the scrolling through what's updated and what isn't, and what difference is that. Oh jeez, but Nobby does a great job of it, and so does Gavin. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. The only time I notice if something's wrong is if I'm out flying and something's acting weird. And do you know that never happens? It never happens to me. I think the more you are concerned about the intricacies of each update, the more problems you're going to find. And the bigger you're going to make those problems. I mean, if I get a wee glitch here or there, I'm like, I don't care. I fly on anyway. I don't care if there's a glitch. If something goes, I don't care. Whereas if you're someone who is concerned about all of the bugs and problems, then that will be a huge big thing for you. So all I can say to you is, please go and visit Nobby Green's channel, and he'll show you all the updates, and he'll show you what the difference is out in the field. Gavin HR will do the same. They'll list all the updates, the firmware updates, and then they'll take their drones out and they'll show you all the new features, and it's great, very informative, but don't expect me to do it. I'll just bore me to tears. So, Paul, hope that answered your question. I'm in a bit of a mood tonight because I'm a bit drugged up, slange again, and I'm not feeling all that great. Anyway, Thomas Kerrigan, you're late, Tommy. What's happening, man? Were you having a wee nap there? Did you not set your alarm in time? Didn't he wake you up right? Mate, you haven't missed anything. You've just missed me waffling on for 25 minutes about a load of old waffle. As usual, same every Sunday. You're not missing anything at all. Right, Ronald. I'm gonna attempt your surname here, Ronald. Ronald Lincolnoker. Hope I got that right. Ronald says, I recently had two Rangers tell me if I wasn't bothering anyone, there's no problem. Ronald, sounds like you've got two good Rangers there. I want to speak a little bit about my Ranger, right? But Ronald, that's good, and that's exactly what they should be doing. Right. So let me speak a little bit about my Ranger. I wouldn't say too much. I don't want to harp on and on about it, but first of all, I really respect the work that the Rangers do. I think it's a job that Andrew, thanks for the sub. I think it's a job that needs to be done. And I think the job that they do very well, especially around Lochdoon and around all our wildlife areas. I really respect them. And there are a lot of volunteers work with the Rangers as well, and I respect all of that, what they do. And I get down and do my bit as well. The Ranger that approached me, I believe in my heart that he had good intentions. I just think he was a bit bullish in his approach, and he came at it in the wrong way. And if you approach someone like that straight away, I mean, I didn't get defensive, but I just thought, who does this guy think he is? I'm telling him nothing. I don't need to tell him anything, and I'm telling him nothing. Because I tried to be friendly, and he wasn't having it. But I think he had good intentions. I think he was concerned that I was flying a drone and I may be flying it near the osprey nest. But instead of coming up and saying to me, do you know that there's an osprey nest here? I would have, and instead of saying that, Andrew, cheers again, he came up, told me no drones, right? So, I'm going to go back out and find that Ranger and have a nice chat with him, right? I don't want to be at odds with the Ranger Service because I think they do a fantastic job around Scotland, around our wild areas, and I'm going to go and give him a chance to redeem himself. Be up to him whether he takes it or not, and he may not. Sean, thanks for the sub. If he doesn't take it, I'll let you know. If he does take the chance, you'll know because they'll be doing it on camera if he's okay with that. So that's as much as I want to say about my Ranger. Right, Land of Saints agrees with Mark. Well done, Land of Saints. Oh, Mark says, I don't think the CEA and the FAA pay too much attention unless there's an incident. Yeah, it's true. They've got more time, more to do with their time than, go into the wild and find some guy that's in the middle of nowhere, flying a drone over the middle of nowhere and tell him you can't fly in that drone in the middle of nowhere. They haven't got no time for that kind of nonsense. Right. Kevin says, what is this new firmware about for the Mini 2? Something about RID. I don't know, Kevin. I don't know. I'll be catching up with Nobby Green's updates. He normally puts one out a week anyway. I'll be catching up with his tonight, and I'll be having another look at Gavin's channel and catching up with his stuff, and maybe I'll find out. But like I said, it doesn't bother me. I'm not really concerned with firmware updates. The drone, as long as the drones do what my Mini 2 and my Mini 3 and my FPV, as long as they do what I want them to do, I don't bother updating any firmware. If there's a firmware comes out that, like for example, let's supposing a firmware update came out that said, this drone will now give you geofencing, then I would download that because geofencing is a feature that it doesn't have at the moment that I could absolutely use. But apart from like geofencing and maybe waypoint missions, if that came out, I would update them. But just wee firmware updates fixing bugs or doing this or that, it doesn't really, those tiny little bugs, fixes and firmware updates, they don't really interest me. But that doesn't mean that you should be the same. If you want to make sure your drones have got the latest firmware and all that, then visit Gavin HR, visit Nobby Green. Don't visit them, visit their channels. And just follow their instructions there. They'll take you through how to do all the firmware updates, and they'll take you through what all the firmware updates do. RID, I don't know, I've not heard of that one before, but I'm sure I'll find out about it. Sean, you had already subscribed, but you've subscribed again. Maybe you unsubscribe and subscribe again, so you would just ding, ding. That's fair enough. Right, Josh Belgov, love the channel, just bought my set. I think you're going to say, bought yourself a drone. I don't know, you maybe put that further down, but you kind of cut yourself off a bit there, Josh. Right, Doco says, if you have very poor eyesight, then you can only fly at 10 yards away. This is it. You know, if it's line of sight, and you have to keep it in line of sight, and you get poor eyesight, you know, it means your drone's never going to go anywhere. You know, listen, it's up to you. It's up to all of you how you fly a drone. There was one chap on, or a subscriber in one of the comments on one of the videos had said that he doesn't care about visual line of sight or heights, and he'll fly as high as he says he has hacked his drone, and he goes up to, I don't know, about 4,000 metres or some ridiculous thing, or 4,000 feet, and he goes as far as he wants, and he'll do it like no one's going to tell him otherwise. Fair enough. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I think it's a bit daft going too high. And I explained to him, I said, well, the reason, I wasn't telling him what to do, because who am I? I'm not telling anybody what to do. But the reason that I don't go too high is, I have seen down at Loch Doon that there are, I think they're called airboats. It's those planes that come in with the big floats instead of wheels that they can land in the water. I think they're called airboats, I think. Anyway, I've seen a few of those flying about quite low, maybe not 120, you know, below 120 metres, but certainly, fairly low. So I would never go above 120 metres just in case I crashed into one. First of all, I wouldn't want to damage any of my drones, and second of all, I wouldn't want to damage the aircraft or anyone that's in it, or anyone in the ground that the aircraft might crash into. So I'm not going to go. Wavy Davy, cheers the sub. I'm not going to go above that height. If you want to do it, that's up to you. I'm not here to tell you what to do, and I'm not here to advise anybody. I do what I do, and it's up to you to do what you want to do as well. Tommy says, when I put it on the ground and walk back to allow it to fly, I can just about see it. Tommy, I have days like those as well. Sometimes I put it down on the ground, go into control, and then think, where did I actually put that drone? Oh, there it is. You know, because it's not my eyesight, but it's my memory. You know, we're only human beings. Right, take a spotter. Land of Saints, I don't know where you are in the world, what country you're in, but the rules, and I'm not telling you to follow them, I'm just telling you what they are in this country about a spotter, is that the CAA say that if you have a spotter, they must be standing right beside you and be able to communicate with you. So there are people that spoke about having 3 or 4 spotters spread out over a couple of miles and all in walkie-talkie communication with you. I think you can do that in the United States, maybe Canada and places, I don't know, but you can't do that in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, because it's against the CAA regulations, I'm afraid. Right. Gerard, I spoke to Tony from Freewell on Saturday, and he said they are getting posted out to me tomorrow. So hopefully I should have them this coming week, and then I'll get out and I'll do a little test with Caledonia, the Mini 3, without the filters and then with the filters, and let you see what they're like. That's the Freewell ones. I always get Freewell filters. Tony always sends me a set when I get a new camera. So I'll be checking those out hopefully next week for you. Duppy, I think that's Glenmorangie. Slanger. Can fly WA. Don't know what the WA is for, but Western Australia. Good morning. It's 7 p.m. in the evening. You'll be 7 p.m. Well, it'll be 20 to 8 in the morning for you now. You're up early. Right. Graham says, maybe the CAA link. However, does anyone want to debate the issue with the authorities in the case of an incident, say, beyond 500 metres? This may be the CAA link. Where? Right, I don't know if you've got a link there, Graham. I don't know if you can post links in the chat or not. If you can, just post it in. If not, at the end of when this live stream's finished, you can go into the comments section and and post the link there. Yeah, I don't want to get into a fight or an argument with the CA or anyone else. And that's why when I'm out, You may think I do things that are a bit crazy and a bit risky and a bit dangerous, but I risk assess before every flight, before every crazy thing that I do. I risk assess it. I risk assess everything I do. And there are some things that I've thought, no, I'm not doing that. There's too much risk involved, and I can't put in anything to counteract that risk, so therefore I'm not going to do it. So there are things that I haven't done because I just, it's too risky. But everything that you think all of the things that I do that look as if there's a lot of risk involved, I've risk assessed, and I'm perfectly happy that it's safe to do. Anyway, I'm sounding like some kind of corporate, risk assessment person here, and I don't want to sound like that. Aye, thanks, Paul. Yeah, I will. I'll heat it up, and I've got some honey downstairs as well. Carl Bism, have you had a good Father's Day? No. Can you not hear me? I've not. Well, nah, it's not true. Actually, I have had a good Father's Day because I was out and I made a decent wee video. I made 2 videos actually. I haven't edited one yet. I made the review one, which will be getting posted later, and I made the wee one about that wee kind of that wee tricky one with the drone dash cam one. So I've had a decent day, and my daughter sent me a nice message as well, so I'm happy. Oh, I scrolled past the chat too much there. Right. Oh, there, Mark. I'll just put that up. There you go. Mark says, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. That'd be awfully nice if you could. If you're not a subscriber and you fancy getting one of those notification thingies that tell you when I posted a new video, you could subscribe and get that. I don't normally ask for subscriptions, but if you want to subscribe, that's nice. Thanks. Right. Tommy says, I think my mother's cure for a cold is a quarter of an onion, eat raw and drink a large glass of whiskey. I'll ditch the onion, but the whiskey sounds good. Right, cheers. Right, Jim says Japanese rid. I don't know what that means. Are you talking about an update, a firmware update again? I'll have to watch Gavin and Nobby the night and see if they're talking about whatever this rid thing is. I don't know what that is. Right, Zigzag says today he got a new firmware update for the Air 2S. Test it all well. Is that something to do with that rid thing, Zigzag? I don't know. Ah, Stevie, remote ID. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Is that thingy where they can find out who you are and where you are and what you're doing? No, not for me. If that's the new update, I wouldn't be updating. I don't want any of that sort of stuff. Fish Diaries, you're a wee bit late to the party. Aye, 40 minutes late. Did you sleep in? What's happening? You need to set your alarm for about 5 to 7. Give you time to waken up and get through here for the chat. You haven't missed anything. Right, John, you're late as well. You like my t-shirt? Aye. This, for anyone who doesn't know, this comes from Game of Thrones, and this is the wee dwarf. What was his name? I can't even remember his name now. This was his sort of motto. Treadstone lives in the UK and has had his Plus batteries for 2 days now. Oh, where did you get that? Treadstone, did you order it through? I think there's a site. What do you call that site? I forget what it is. Where did you get that? You're getting 35 minutes flight time with 20% battery remaining from the battery's first charge. That's pretty good. Pretty good, 35 minutes. I mean, you're supposed to be able to get 36 minutes for the normal battery anyway. But, there you go. I don't know if I really want. I've got 3 of the normal batteries, and to be perfectly honest with you, I don't even use 3 batteries when I go out. I'll use 2, and one of them doesn't even come out of the case. So I don't think I see any need for the excuse me, I don't see any need for the bigger battery. Right, Graham says that think the rules can be seen in this publication. Can't put in the link. Okay, Graham, if you don't mind, after the live stream's finished, if you go into the comments of the live stream video, because it transforms into just a normal video that you can comment on, if you wouldn't mind going into the comments there and putting the link. You could also maybe go into the community section of my channel and put a wee post up there with a link in it, because I think quite a few of us would be interested in reading that. Especially if there's a wee loophole about flying BVLOS. Right. I'm sorry it's not that I've not got an agenda, not got much to talk about tonight, you know. I just wasn't feeling up to it. So I'm just really answering questions. And I hope that's okay. I don't even have anything else to show you. Because I didn't have anything set up. Right, okay. And the air shots. Just joined the chat. Not sure I have else seen another interest topic hobby where the members are hell-bent and reporting others to government body. Andy, what is going on? I don't get it either. I mean, there must be other hobbies where people want to report, but it's crazy. Why? I mean, I'm quite sure it's not because they are civic-minded people and want to make sure everyone's safe. I think it's just that they're, eggplants, if you know what I mean. Gerard says, Gavin has a good video about Mini 3 signal problem. Do you know something, Gerard? I haven't got any problems with the signal with the Mini 3. And I read about people and I see videos about people having problems with it. I keep seeing videos. Here's how to fix the signal problem. What signal problem? I don't have any signal problems with the Mini 3. I mean, you've seen my videos. I've tried the Mini 3 with the RCN1. I've tried the Mini 3 with the RC. I've compared the Mini 2 with the Mini 1 with, the Mini 2 with the Mini 3. I've done urban tests, 3 urban tests. I think I've done at least 2, maybe even more, tests out in the wilderness. I don't have a problem with the signal. I mean, my Mini 3 it says on the telemetry, I think it was 4 kilometres, and it still had a signal. So, Gerard, I like Gavin's channel and I'll watch it, but if he's any video that I see in anyone's channel on YouTube that's talking about the problems with the Mini 3, I don't even watch, because I don't know if people are making it up, but or am I the only person in the world that actually got a Mini 3 that works and doesn't have a signal problem? Because I don't see any. Anyway. Wind speeds were too high. Right. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about there. You're maybe chatting with in the chat, and I'm missing a lot of it, Graham. So sorry about that. Right, Thomas, I can't show that comment you put up there because I'll read it out. Thomas is talking about the RID, suggesting it's going to come to use all RID, but you didn't spell come properly, Thomas, so I can't put that up. Right, Flops, if you're asking if I have the Mavic 3, no, I've got the Mini 3 Pro. I don't have the Mavic 3. I wish I did, but it's something like £2,500 or £3,000 or something. I can't afford that. Sorry, I wish I had, but I don't. So no, not me. Drone Shots. Hi, Robert. Hi, Drone Shots. How you doing? Glad you took my advice and started live streaming. I just did it as once for a wee trial to see how it went, and I quite enjoyed it, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it too. So I thought, yeah, I'll do it again and see how it goes next time. Test on the Plus batteries are on eBay, and the Mini 3 is a bit more stable in the wind. What's a bit more stable in the wind with the heavier battery in it? That's another thing as well. It may wobble about in the wind a little bit, but the gimbal is rock solid, and it doesn't get blowing all over the place. It just kind of moves about a little bit. For me, it's not a problem. And I'm in Scotland, it's windy all the time here. I'm starting to think that people are trying to find problems where there aren't any problems, or if there are problems, they're tiny, they're problems that don't matter, and people are, they're exaggerating and blowing up these tiny little problems into something a lot bigger than they are, like the signal issue. What signal issue? Like the wind stability is not as good as the Air 2S. Aye, but it's good enough. It's fine. I'm a bit cranky tonight, and sorry about that. Right. We're flying past here. Right, Mark says, technically any DJI drone is remote ID. It wouldn't be hard for Big Brother to get info from DJI. I don't know, Mark. I mean, that could be GDPR. They might not be able to. I mean, if any government agency contacted a private company and asked for personal information, which is where I am, that's data protection. I don't know if they would give that out Don't know if it would be legal. You can certainly fight at the courts anyway. Drone shots, get me in some other live streams. Drone shots, I'm having enough trouble talking in my own live stream, never mind anybody else's. I mean, I'm always willing to get on other ones, but if anybody invited me. But at the moment, no for a wee while. Suffolk Air Adventures, did you have a chance to check out the notchy function button gimbal wheel zoom on the DJI Mini 2 controller? Notchy function button gimbal wheel zoom. So, well, you just hold down the function button and move the move the wheel. Look at me, dink, dink, and it works. So I've been doing that for a year and a half. I'm maybe misunderstanding you because my mind's all foggy tonight anyway. I think I've overdosed on pills or something else tonight. Anyway, Jim says almost 50% of people are reporting problems with the signal. Gavin has identified the new remote as possibly not connected to the right channel location. Jim, I don't think that's right. 50% of people might be reporting problems, but I don't think that 50% of people have got problems. I just think they've got problems. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I have just been extremely lucky with my Mini 2 and my Mini 3 and don't have all the problems that everybody else seems to be moaning about. Maybe. I think, Jim, if you go looking for a problem and you keep looking until you find it, you'll find it. You know what I mean? If you don't go looking for a problem, you're probably never even going to notice if there's a tiny little problem there. Right? Or is that just me talking nonsense? Probably. Right, Thomas, it's going really well, these live streams. more people coming. Aye, thanks, Thomas. I think maybe after this one, there'll be nobody back next week. Nick says, I had the Mini 3 and had range issues with it. Also the camera that kept misting up. Nick, I remember reading that you had written that. You took it back to Argus and gone back to using the Mini 2. Aye, I remember reading that you had said that about it misting up, and somebody did say that make sure you're not taking it from a hot environment into a cold environment, which I'm sure you weren't doing. It sounded to me when I read that initially that you had a wee fault, maybe with the lens of your camera, and I think that's a one-off. I don't know if other people are reporting that. If there are other people reporting that, it could have been, an issue with one of the batches or a couple of the batches of Mini 3s that came out. And like I said again, maybe I've just been really lucky and fortunate that I have a Mini 3 that doesn't seem to have any problems. And I mean, I got mine. I was one of the first. I didn't get mine like some of the bigger YouTube channel guys got it before it was even released. I mean, I had to wait till it was released and then order it and then buy it and wait for it to come. But I got it through pretty quickly. I think I was just in there very fast. So I got one of the early ones and it's been fine. No problems. The only thing that gives me a problem is the RC. I'm not dead happy with that because it's quite a low resolution screen recording, as I've said, and it's very glary as well, which I still haven't get out and put these Brotec. They're still inside the packets. I haven't get out and put them on yet. I haven't even opened them up yet. Not much of a chance because I've had this cold and the weather's been terrible here. We had storms and everything, so I'll get to it. It's very sunny today and very bright, so I will get to testing these soon. But that's just the RC. As far as the drone goes, I think the Mini 3 drone's fantastic. I really, really like it. And I like the extra features that it has that the Mini 2 doesn't have. I like the active track and the obstacle avoidance, and I like the way it tracks you. If you're walking up and down hills, it will track you up and down hills. I really like that. I'd love it to have a waypoint mission feature, and I'd love it to have geofencing, but I don't think they're going to come to it. I think that might be for a Mini 4 or a bigger one. Anyway, lack of signal issues due to premium Scottish Air. George, I couldn't have said it better myself. That's what it is, and that's why us up in Scotland don't have any problems with the signal, because our air is so clean and fresh. There's no particles stopping your signal. George. Right. Suffolk Air Adventures. You've mentioned the Ranger. Used to be a lot smoother, and I'm sure a bigger Ranger I've travelled. Don't you talk about that Ranger? We finished talking about him. I don't know. Maybe it did. I don't know. Jim, obviously people who don't have a problem don't really report it. Yeah, you're right. So you're probably, I mean, think about it. The number of reports that you've seen. Supposing you say, "Oh, I've seen 1,000 reports of problems." Aye, but if there's 100,000 drones being sold, that's like 0.001% of people have had problems. So right, 10 to. I've got plenty of time left. Plenty of time. I've got nothing else to show you, but all I can really do is waffle at you and answer your questions. So, excuse me. I'm going to continue to do that. Right, let's see if we get any names that we haven't had up yet. Right, let's see. JP says you think the screen recording resolution is better since the latest update. Is it? JP, I'd like someone else to confirm that. I don't want to update. I never update unless, like I said, there's an issue with the firmware, current issue of firmware that I currently have, or there's a new feature comes out that I want. Unless one of those two things happen, I don't update. So if there is a better resolution with screen recording with a new firmware update, I'd love someone to confirm that, because I'm not going to update just on the off chance. But that would be fantastic if there was. Certainly it'd be good for me, because I put a lot of the screen recording up on, as an overlay on my videos, and I hate the fact that it's 480. That's terrible. So yeah, that would be good. Right. Can Fly, Western Australia, says, you've done a couple of night flights with the Mini 1. Got some good photos there. So like, yeah, I haven't been out to do any night flights yet. I'm going to do that. The only problem is in Scotland, at 11:30 at night, it's still quite light. That's when it just starts to get dark. So if I was to go out and do, that's in the summer. So if I was to go out and do a night flight, I'd have to go out at midnight, and I'm in my bed long before midnight. So I don't know if I'm going to get out. What's that? You sent me an email with Ken Herring's channel. Heads up. Is that something else? I mean, I know he spoke to me about the Broken Blade one. Is this something else, Mark? I'll have a look at Ken's channel later on, and I'll have a read at your email later on as well. Hope it's nothing bad. Graham, thanks very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I don't have to tell you again, but the price of fuel is astronomical these days. So every tiny little bit that you give to me is great. It goes straight in my tank, and it helps me get out and about. So thanks very much, Graham. I appreciate that. I saw this, Guy. There was a suggestion that the dual band auto switching was choosing the wrong channel. Yeah, I read that earlier today. It said that for urban flying you should be using the 5 gigahertz one, but it was selecting, is it 2.8 or 2.4? And for wilderness it was selecting the wrong one if you left it in auto. And I thought, I'll have to have a look at that and test it. And I will. I'll get out next week and have a look at that. But I'm not going to be updating the firmware, so I don't know if it's going to fix itself in the firmware. But I'll go out and have a look at that, because that was interesting to me this morning when I read about that. Corona says you should obtain an Autel Evo Nano Plus to do a comparison. Yeah, Corona, if you would like to send me an Autel Evo Nano Plus, I'll be more than happy to go out and do a comparison. Thomas is saying it makes a big difference. I don't know if you're talking about selecting the right wavelength there, or whether you're talking about filters, Thomas. I don't know. Right, Treston, have you ever had problems with birds flying too close to the drone? No, really. Seagulls take an interest, but they don't get too close. I've been chased once, and it was by one of those I think oyster catchers, the birds with the long kind of beaks. You get them at the seashore. I think it's oyster catchers. They make a lot of noise, and one of them chased Lassie once. Didn't catch her, but crows and rooks and ravens and seagulls don't really bother me at all. There's millions of them all around. They're everywhere. But as I fly less of them, they tend to just get out of the way. And I don't fly anywhere near ospreys. 'Cause 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 I don't f because I think the Osprey would tear the drone to ribbons in seconds. I don't want to get anyone near an Osprey. The drone wouldn't harm the Osprey. The Osprey would tear the drone to shreds. Right, Treadstone says the RC remote had the screen recording resolution improved with the latest update. Do you know what the resolution has been improved to, Treadstone? Is it up to 720? It's certainly not up to 1080, is it? Up to 720 maybe. In that case, if that's the case, I will be updating, because that is a feature that I do want, and that will alleviate one of the things that I don't like about the Mini 3 package. And the only other thing left that I don't like, well, there's two things that I don't like, is in the RC, I don't like how glary it is, but I've got these screen protectors to try and solve that. The other thing I don't like is the position of the sticks. I don't like them at the top over the screen, but there's nothing we can do about that. You can't change that with a firmware update. So if that resolution has been improved, it'll alleviate all of the problems I have with the RC, other than the position of the sticks. So I hope it is. If somebody else could confirm that before I update, I'd be happy about that. I'll maybe check Gavin and Nobby's channel and see what they say. Stephen, evening. Is that you just coming in? I'm just about finished. I've only got a couple of minutes left, pal. You set your alarm an hour late, didn't you? DJI did say they aren't going to change the screen recording list. They did to me. I spoke to them on a chat, one of those live chatty things, and they said that no, that's it. They're not, it is what it is. They said they would not change it. I hope they have. 540, Nick, that's no much better than 480 really, is it? I mean, is it that much better? 540, it was 480 before. 540, I don't know if it's worth an update just for that. It depends what other changes come in with the update. I'll check, like I said, I'll check Nobby and Gavin later on tonight and see what other changes are in there. And I may update. Andy says, I've seen the screen record resolution now 1080. No. Andy, see if it is. Absolutely, I'll be updating. That's fantastic. I mean, that'll be great if it is. I can't see it, but that'll be good. Red likes my shirt. You drink and you know things. That makes two of us. Right, Thomas says stay away from hotel. I don't intend buying an hotel, Tommy, but if somebody wants to send me one, I'll go out and test it. You know what I mean? Right. Exo Blackhawk 2 Mini Pro is better than Hotel. Yeah, if somebody wants to send me one of those two, I'll test it. But I'm not gonna buy them. It's 2:55 here in Australia. All right, I thought you were like 12 hours behind us, and that's nearly 8 o'clock. So I thought you'd be 8 o'clock in the morning. All right, okay. Right, so you're saying it is 1080 on? Wait a minute. The screen resolution is 1080. Yes, it is. But the screen recording resolution was 480. I can't see them having upped that to 1080. So you know, it's two different things. The screen resolution is fantastic. You look at it, it's 1080. But the recording resolution was not 1080. So that's two different things, okay? Right. I'm going to start wrapping up now. Let's have a look and see if there's anyone who hasn't had their wee piece to say. Now, it looks like everybody. I've managed to get everybody in at least once. The Herbal Gerbil, thanks for your sub. I appreciate that. Aye, 1080 for screen, but we're talking about screen recording, not the screen. Gary, thanks for liking my outlook and my sense of humour. It's 1080 on the screen recording on the RC Pro, but not the Mini 3 RC. Right, look, folks, I've got just over 60 seconds to go, so I'm going to start wrapping things up now. Thanks very much for tuning in again. Thanks for sticking with me, even though I've got this horrible voice. Hopefully I'll be better for next week, and there'll be a couple of videos coming out during the week. So thanks very much for joining me, and I'm going to wrap things up now. So I'll see you all again next week.
Get out of my way.
You're always